It's kinda hard to believe that the exhaust note you just heard was from a single cylinder engine. Yes, it was the exhaust note of Ducati Supermono, one of Ducati's wildest creations ever. Ducati built the Supermono to compete in a new class of racing called Sound of Singles, which featured single-cylinder engines with a capacity of over 500 cc. Both the Italian and Japanese manufacturers supplied the engines for the race machines, and Ducati wanted a piece of the action. During the 90s, Ducati had focused its efforts and finances on the new belt-driven twin-cylinder motorcycles. The Supermono took everyone by surprise. It was an entirely different animal. During the 90s, Ducati was dominating the world superbike scene with the liquid-cooled DOHC 8-valve desmodromic V-twin engine-powered motorcycles, which had won several superbike titles. And the legendary engineer Mr. Fabio Taglioni had been replaced at Ducati by Mr. Massimo Bordi. At that time, Mr. Massimo Bordi was also running a pet project of his own, which later turned into Supermono, and was first unveiled at the 1992 IFMA show in Cologne, Germany. The prototype of the Supermono had a 487cc single-cylinder engine that was essentially a triplet V-twin with a rear cylinder removed. It featured a clever solution to the traditional problem of vibration often associated with single-cylinder engines. A second con rod connected to a pivoting lever which rotated on a pin fixed in the crankcase. This, the Pia Bialetta or double con rod, provided perfect primary balance and eliminated secondary inertia straight onto the crankshaft, without the need for a power snapping chain or gears. The single-cylinder engine differed from the triplet V-twin in that it had plain main bearings with the water pump driven from the exhaust camshaft. But the final production version of the Supermono engine had a capacity of 549cc and was capable of producing 75 horsepower. This engine was derived from the previous generation Desmo Quattro engine of the 851 and shared many technical similarities. Notably, the engine only used two supports for the crankshaft, which in itself is an achievement given its two connecting rods to maintain reliability and to reduce the size of the bench bearings. Using only two supports also helped to reduce the engine's width, ultimately minimizing the motorcycle's overall width. The engine also retained the unique double connecting rod system that solved the vibration problem, significantly reducing the production cost and increasing the efficiency. The Supermono's chassis design was led by Mr. Claudio Domenicali, who is now serving as the CEO of Ducati. The tubular steel frame was made from a new ALS 500 tubular steel. The triangular structure pivoted in the crankcase like the modern generation twins. The styling was the work of South African designer Mr. Pierre Terblanche, who at that time was working under the legend Mr. Massimo Tamburini. The entire fairing of the motorcycle was done in carbon fiber, which was considered as an exotic material during the early 90s. The footrest mounts and the airbox were also made out of carbon fiber. The Supermono featured 3-spoke magnesium wheels from Marquezine with Brembo floating discs and calipers. The first batch of 30 Supermonos went into production in early 1993 with a price tag of $20,000. The production was slow, but by late 1994, a revised version referred to as 102 went into production. The capacity was increased from 550cc to 572cc, with other modifications including a 60mm throttle body, titanium con rods, a more efficient silencer, updated electronics, etc. But there wasn't any considerable increase in power, but the mid-range power delivery was greatly improved, resulting in better acceleration out of corners. Ducati continued the production of the Supermono until 1995. During that time, they made about 67 motorcycles, making the Supermono one of the rarest Ducati to ever exist. Before we go, let's have a listen to the beautiful exhaust note of the Supermono once more.